Welcome to the battlefield of brains, where strategy meets chaos, and every move burns with intensity. Watch grandmasters clash, pieces fall, and legends rise. Victor opens with d4, pushing his central pawn forward boldly, announcing he's ready for a fierce strategic battle. Wesley replies with nf6, developing calmly while eyeing the center, preparing flexible counterplay against Victor's early space. Victor advances c4, expanding on the queenside with ambition, tightening central control and forcing Wesley to respond precisely. Wesley strikes back with g6, preparing a sharp fianchetto setup, aiming his bishop down the long diagonal, like a laser. Victor plays f3, reinforcing the center powerfully, showing intentions of building a massive pawn wall for future aggression. Wesley counters with d5, breaking in the center with force, challenging Victor's structure and demanding immediate tactical accuracy. Victor captures cxd5, ripping open the center early, welcoming complications and daring Wesley to navigate the sharp position. Wesley recaptures in xd5, planting the knight deep in enemy territory, exerting pressure on crucial light squares instantly. Victor pushes e4, striking the knight and claiming central dominance, signaling he wants a full-scale confrontation soon. Wesley retreats nb6, repositioning the knight to safer ground while keeping pressure on c4 and future central squares. Victor develops nc3, reinforcing his strong center and increasing tension, preparing to launch coordinated attacks across the board. Wesley activates bg7, placing the bishop on the deadly diagonal, ready to challenge Victor's ambitious central construction. Victor continues with b3, developing smoothly while protecting c5 and preparing potential queenside expansion against Wesley's structure. Wesley castles, bringing his king to safety and signaling readiness for dynamic counterplay in the center. Victor plays qd2, connecting rooks early and preparing long castling, hinting at an aggressive opposite-side attack plan. Wesley strikes with f5, challenging the center again, injecting more fire into the position and provoking immediate reactions. Victor advances d5, gaining space and shoving Wesley's pieces back, raising the stakes as the board heats up. Wesley replies chicks, undermining the strong pawn chain and trying to crack Victor's advanced central spearhead apart. Victor plays h4, kicking off kingside aggression early, showing he's ready to storm Wesley's king without hesitation. Wesley captures cxi5, opening lines and trying to free his cramped pieces while increasing central dynamic possibilities. Victor recaptures x5, restoring his pawn presence while opening files, continuing to build pressure on Wesley's defenses. Wesley pushes h5, stopping Victor's h-pawn advance, while creating dark square tension and hinting at future kingside counterplay. Victor plays f4, expanding on the queenside and preparing f5, attempting to stretch Wesley's defenses across the board. Wesley develops bf5, improving his bishop's activity and targeting critical central squares while keeping Victor's pieces honest. Victor pushes f5, gaining space and chasing the knight's stability, trying to lock queenside structure to his advantage. Wesley responds, seat, retreating the knight but aiming to reposition it to stronger posts for future counterattacks. Victor plays G2, rerouting the knight toward active squares, preparing coordination for a massive central and kingside push. Wesley jumps into e6, centralizing the knight aggressively, and challenging Victor's advanced pawns with renewed tactical pressure. Victor places G3, adding more force toward the kingside, and setting up threats on f5 and ha5 later. Wesley activates re8, placing the rook on the open file and hinting at central break ideas to increase tension. Victor strikes with G4, pressuring Wesley's bishop and knights, injecting sharp tactics into an already explosive position. Wesley exchanges b4, relieving pressure by trading the active knight while reshaping the central battlefield toward clarity. Victor plays fc4, opening lines toward Wesley's king, and creating a dangerous pawn chain ready for future assault. Wesley develops N7, reorganizing the pieces to challenge the center while preparing hidden tactical resources around f5. Victor continues b2, developing calmly and preparing to castle while maintaining flexibility across both wings of the board. Wesley activates r8, putting rook on the semi-open file and eyeing c4, ready to counterattack Victor's queenside structure. Victor launches bxs7, grabbing a pawn sharply and disturbing Wesley's queenside while opening tactical dangers across the board. Wesley responds 5, striking the center with force, trying to break open lines before Victor consolidates his advantage. Victor plays x5, capturing cleanly and opening diagonal lines, further destabilizing Wesley's kingside defenses. Wesley replies f5, regaining the pawn energetically, and placing the knight on a fierce attacking square toward Victor's king. Victor plays n4, centralizing power and threatening strong tactical ideas, while challenging Wesley's aggressive knight presence. Wesley counters f6, repositioning for defense and counterattack, aiming to neutralize Victor's active central knight. Victor executes f6, trading forcefully and keeping the tension alive while exposing dark square weaknesses near Wesley's king. Wesley recaptures qsf6, centralizing his queen actively and eyeing both wings, preparing to turn defense into counterstrike. Victor castles 0-0, finally securing his king and readying rooks for the upcoming fierce center and kingside battles. Wesley lashes out with qxh4, grabbing a pawn violently and creating immediate mating threats, shifting momentum dramatically. Victor answers bf2, defending the kingside squares and preparing to coordinate heavy pieces while stabilizing a tense position. Wesley plays q7, repositioning his queen to a safer and more flexible square, preparing both defense and renewed offense. Victor pushes a6, driving the advanced pawn deeper and creating long-term queenside pressure that Wesley must address. Wesley replies e4, launching a thematic pawn break, opening dangerous lines toward Victor's king with explosive intentions. Victor captures axe b7, taking material and opening the a-file, intensifying queenside threats while stretching Wesley's defenses. Wesley responds rcd8, centralizing the rook with purpose, and preparing to mobilize heavy artillery against Victor's exposed lines. Victor continues bc4, placing the bishop on a powerful diagonal, eyeing weaknesses and supporting queenside penetration. Wesley jumps and zigs, blocking the bishop and centralizing forcefully, fighting to reclaim control of the collapsing center. Victor plays bc5, cutting deep into Wesley's structure and coordinating with looming rooks for tactical domination. Wesley captures qxb7, reclaiming material and removing the advanced pawn while opening new possibilities along the b-file. Victor strikes bxd6, eliminating the strong knight and further weakening Wesley's defensive setup across critical central squares. Wesley replies rsd6, recapturing with rook and centralizing it aggressively, preparing counterplay despite structural concessions. Victor plays ratfu, preparing lateral rook involvement and reinforcing the queenside while eyeing future infiltration routes. Wesley checks qb6, forcing Victor's king to react and seizing initiative with precision in a tense position. Victor responds Kona, stepping away from danger and keeping coordination intact as pressure continues mounting on both wings. Wesley advances e3, creating a dangerous passed pawn that threatens to break Victor's defenses wide open shortly. Victor plays qa2, blocking the pawn while coordinating defenses and preparing potential counterattacks along central files. Wesley brings q4, invading aggressively and threatening deadly tactics, tightening the noose around Victor's weakening king. Victor activates rf3, adding vital protection and counterplay ideas, trying to hold the collapsing kingside position together. Wesley replies Kak7, sidestepping checks and preparing to support his advancing forces with calm, deadly precision. Victor plays b3, stabilizing the queenside and creating escape squares while maintaining slim but important defensive chances. Wesley brings rf6, doubling defensive and offensive power, preparing decisive pressure against Victor's king and central pieces. Victor captures rxf6, sacrificing material to eliminate the deadly rook and relieve immense pressure for a moment. Wesley recaptures bxf6, placing the bishop on a dominating diagonal and renewing threats that grow more dangerous each move. Victor plays qf3, activating his queen toward defense, while seeking counterplay, though Wesley's initiative remains overwhelming. Wesley checks qh4e, forcing Victor's king into deeper vulnerability and tightening tactical nets across the weakened kingside. Victor blocks with qh3, trying desperately to shield critical squares and delay Wesley's advancing attack a little longer. Wesley replies Keone, driving the king further into danger and maintaining relentless pressure with precise, cold-blooded moves. Victor escapes Kach2u, stepping aside from checks but still trapped in an increasingly suffocating web of dark square threats. Wesley pushes etwu, advancing the pawn to promotion range, creating a near-unstoppable, game-deciding threat against Victor's king. Victor plays Re7, trying one last tactical shot to complicate matters, hoping to catch Wesley in a rare oversight. Wesley calmly answers Kh6, escaping the check and leaving his unstoppable pawn to finish the battle decisively. I'll end the video here. Please give me a like and subscribe to my channel. I'll keep finding the best and newest videos to share with you. Thank you so much, and I wish you all happiness and good health.